Hello ladies and gentlemen, with this video I'm starting my series on phrenology. This is an occult knowledge, occult science. It is part of the occult sciences that we know. Occult means hidden, secret. Which are the occult sciences? This is the astrology. Astrology is the royal science. Astrology is probably the first science. It started before astronomy. In previous videos, in many videos, because I love this mythological story, I was telling you how ancient astrology is from Sumerian, Babylonian perspective. It started with the first known to us, not first, but the first known to us, Hermes, as King Enmeduranki, who actually was given by the gods the knowledge of astrology. So astrology is very, very ancient, and phrenology is part of the occult sciences, and phrenology and astrology combine beautifully. They work beautifully in harmony, and they give us amazing knowledge. What is phrenology? Phrenology is the occult science of the head and the face. The head and the face, the shape of the head. The head is divided in different sections which correspond to different organs, to different features of the human being. But all this will be looking really, we'll be analyzing in different chapters of this work that I'm starting now. So which are actually the well known to us occult sciences? We're starting with astrology. Of course, we have phrenology that we, as we said, work in perfect harmony. Then you have hieromancy, which is the reading of the hand lines and predicting the future with that. Of course, numerology, which is the science of the numbers, which actually had another ancient name before the common name numerology arrived to us. Then we also have, of course, magic. Magic is the work with energies. Of course, you have the mediumship, and of course it is one which actually has to be mentioned, is the power of the human mind. The power of the human mind, how you influence energies and the world around you with the power of your mind. This is also occult science. Now, where I am receiving my knowledge from, the knowledge that I'll be presenting to you really in many series, because this is a serious amount of information that I would love to share with you. It is, of course, this is the work of the master Beinsa Douno. Now, from 1922 to 1944, the White Brotherhood, under his of course, rulership, Master Beinsa Douno was active and working in Sofia in Bulgaria. During these 22 years, he left for us amazing amount of fortune lectures. And the knowledge of phrenology, astrology too, the astrology of the White Brotherhood is amazing. But phrenology, we heard from the Master Beinsa Douno a lot on phrenology, because he said in some of his lectures, he said, I came here to research the brains and the facial characteristics, the facial shapes of the Bulgarians. And then he was also describing the facial and the head shapes of the English people, of the Jewish people, of the Arabs, and so on. So he was giving very interesting information on that. And so he came to research the facial and the head features of the people on earth. Interestingly, he was such an amazing spirit of a very, very, very high hierarchy, that, you know, when the communists came in 1944, he just left his body the way he entered his body, because he was born as Peter Danov. He lived just in a family, you know, of priest. His father was priest in a church near in Varna here in Bulgaria, and at certain point his body, you know, the spirit of Beinsa Douno entered his body in the same way. In 1944 the spirit left, and actually there is nobody in his grave in Sofia, because this is spirit of the such a hierarchy that he doesn't really belong to the usual you know, human nature and understanding. So in this series I will start with the most important, you know, descriptions on actually the basics of phrenology. Then of course we will be looking at phrenology in combination with astrology, because you know, you have, let's say, you have Mercurian types of phases, you have Saturnine, you have Venus types of phases, and there is amazing information on that. Of course, this is Hermetic knowledge. You will see why. We will certainly apply the Hermetic principles, which I will describe to you briefly one more time. And I also want to tell you, there is phrenology is not a pseudo, like fake science. It is not, because there are some writings which I found from authors in the early 19th centuries or earlier, which would describe phrenology, the science of the head of the people and the face, as pseudo, like not real science. Well, this is really not so, and I will show you that it is not so. But yes, it is an occult science, it is hidden, it is secret science, and the more we know, the more we can apply it to our lives. So yes, I will be describing to you in this first chapter of our you know, reading, I will be describing to you the basics of phrenology, and then I will call this well, this first video maybe video number 1, and I will have on my channel storage on phrenology only, so that you can visit and find the first lectures on phrenology, because probably if you're interested in the topic you need to start from the beginning. I also wanted to tell you that on phrenology, you know, my sources are of course the books from the students of Master Beinsa Douno, also the writings which people would just take notes, you know, amazing notes. And I, you know, also I have very interesting book from 1908. The authors are Henry Dayton and James McNeil. So these two authors wrote a book which is called Principles of Phrenology. And you know what I noticed? They describe the phrenology not applying the esoteric, the spiritual perspective. This is the difference between, you see, it's a very old book. This is the difference between the phrenology concept of the White Brotherhood of the Master Beinsa Douno and these two authors, which the book is very interesting, but is lacking this very interesting, very important concept. So I will even share my screen with you, just well, few slides I made, of course. How to move, excuse me. Just an illustration, just to give you idea how phrenology really approaches the human head. You can see this is the human, the scalp, the head, and the different sections which correspond to different organs, to behaviors. But this we'll be looking at really at later stage. This is just an illustration. I took this exactly from the book of the students of Master Beinsa Douno. Then, you know, I already started with this. What are the occult sciences? We start with astronomy and astrology, the royal science, astrology, because as you know, it first started with serving the kings. The astrology was really serving the royal figures, and the astronomy is simply the anatomy of the universe, because it is just describing what we see on the sky. And astrology is the power motions which is created by all celestial bodies of the sky, on the sky. This is how the White Brotherhood is described in astrology. I told you about the hieromancy, which is the lines on our hands and predicting the future, and of course phrenology, which is our main interest. So before we really get into good detail, some very interesting stuff I want to share with you, which are coming from Master Beinsa Douno. He is, like I told you, he was researching the human head, the human brain, the facial characteristics, and also he said that the human being is the most complex creature on earth. And he said that we are so complex that even geometrically we are a result of very complex formula. So he describes the human being as we are as a result of the most complex mathematical formula on the world. That's why he says the eyes, the ears, the mouth, the beard are simply mathematically placed. They are really a result of mathematical formula. And because we are created as a result of the materials from the whole cosmos, that's why the people, the human being is called microcosmos. Doesn't this correspond to Hermetic principles, which will be also reminding to ourselves in a moment? So we are a small universe, we are a small center in the great universe. So if we look at the human being with open mind, or from the point of view of somebody who has, let's say, medium qualities, then we will see that we are a small solar system. We are a small solar system around which the planets from the solar system are rotating. So basically we are microcosmos representing the solar system. So he says we need to research and to observe and to analyze ourselves, to observe every single detail on our face, bodies, and we need to understand this small universe that we represent. So also we are collection of energies which also have common center. So this is also a very hermetic. Also, maybe this slide. He says that all human beings need to pass through the material worlds, and earth is material world. This, we need to go through these experiences. Also something very important, we, the people, the human being, the one unique human being is a part of the kingship of this particular consciousness, which is representing every single person on earth, from the very first human being to the people of now. And this is all collected in one unique consciousness. That's why this common, gathered, unique consciousness is representing the cosmic human being. This is very important starting point. And he says we need to understand ourselves. We need to observe ourselves. And he says this is fortune, because when we know our good qualities, when we will be working on them to develop them, to bring them to better evolution. So this is the most important. That's why he said in the Bible, they say, know yourself, or know thyself, or the way they say, know yourself, even Socrates said, know yourself. Look at your ears, mouth, hands, see what your feelings are, and try to observe and understand yourself. So this is just basic introduction to the energies of the human being. And I also want to this is already part of my slide, to look at what is very, very important and what has to do with our facial expressions, our heads. This is, of course, our astral body. This is the double. So the phrenology, the way it is described by some of the students of Master Beinsa Douno, is actually the archetype of the ideal human being, the ideal stellar cosmic person, just the way I just described it to you. So after the act of decreation, the ancient human beings, this is what it is about. So the human double, the astral body, the invisible part of the human, because we have the physical visible body, but also we have the invisible body, and this is the astral body, or we can call it double body, is including exactly these cosmic powers that we are not remembering, because we are not supposed to remember our previous incarnations. We are not. This is has to do with the experience that we need to go through on earth, in this material plane, that every soul needs to experience also the material plane. Therefore, the double, our astral body, is the one who is connecting us to the cosmic, to the powers, and also this is the connection between the our mind and our hearts. So also this double, this astral body, is based on the divine body, which is given by the Creator, which actually is the basic of, like, the skeleton of all other bodies, and this is the body which never changes. Then, of course, we will be looking at the other bodies, part of the invisible body, and we in total have 12 bodies, but they are not developed. He says, as comparison, Master Beinsa Douno was teaching this in one of his some of his lectures, and he was saying our stage of development when it comes to these 12 bodies is like of a 10 years old child. So we, with every incarnation, slowly we are developing also the other bodies, but so far the humans have clearly well developed only 4 bodies which truly function, and this is, of course, the physical body, the body of the heart, the body of the mind, and the causal or the rational bodies out of the 12 bodies. And then he explains that people live 18 million years on earth. There are people 18 million years, and we still couldn't develop completely our human bodies. So then, I mentioned to you, we're like 10 years old child. So, but the human body is very divine structure, and many spirit creatures took place in its creation. So from our physical body we can get in perfect connection with the invisible world, and also many cultures from old ancient civilizations took place in the creation of our physical body. That's why he said it is of our great responsibility to keep our physical body healthy. Basically, he says, in a very good shape. So the brain has a cover as the body has. He says the brain has a body, which body is very complex and very perfectly mathematically organized. So in the future, like I mentioned to you, we have 12 bodies, 4 of which are completed and 4 of which are existing on the material plane on Earth. The 8 other bodies are not developed, but in the spirit realm, there are another 3 bodies which are also not developed. So there are some waves of the creation. Which waves come naturally? I believe we can see these waves coming with the astrological cycles, which actually help us to develop these undeveloped human bodies. So this is, what else to tell you? This is basically why it is so important to understand that we are not only physical body, that we are not only looking at the facial features, at the features of our head. It is because, according to the Hermetic principles, everything which is happening on our bodies first appear on the spirit plane. And there is a beautiful saying also, which I know from Master Beinsa Douno. He says, what is in your heart is in your face. So you can already understand what this means. Also saying this, through our feelings, we are connecting to the astral world or the spirit world. And the astral world is divided into 2 different areas, he says, areas, which is low and high, lower and higher, according to the feelings. They are according to the feelings in the astral world. So it is the lower and higher. So it has to do with our own feelings, with which of these areas of the astral world are we connecting. The astral world is liquid, he says, very much like the water, and the spirits or the beings which live there are like the fishes in the water. So on Earth we live through our mental, with our mental or causal rational bodies, and they are connected with higher worlds, and from the physical but also from the astral planes. That's why we said we have 4 developed bodies: the physical, the astral, the causal, and the mental. And each of these 4 bodies is having very special work, has very special service for us, and it is made of specific material. So every organ of our physical body is connected with one of these 4 worlds. For example, the liver is connected to the astral, it means to the spirit world, or with the world of the feelings, who is regulating the lower feelings of the human being. So he's taking all the poisons from the body and is transforming them. So if, let's say, the liver is not in order, all these poisons will poison the whole body and people cannot survive this. So this is also what we will be looking at, the connection, these connections with human organs, and of course astrology. So this, what else to mention to you? Maybe now saying this, when we die, we leave the cover on the material world, and on this physical cover, he I don't this because we cannot really imagine this, and because we cannot see it, but another body will be built, which body we cannot see, of course. So he says that the conditions on earth are not easy, of course, and that's why we have to take very good care of our bodies, of ourselves. But the mental body is eternal. Only the physical body is not eternal, but the mental and the causal bodies are eternal. And now, saying this, I want to briefly go through the Hermetic principles, which have to do with the phrenology, with astrology, with every occult science, with our lives on earth. So very briefly, I will remind to you also the Hermetic principles, and then of course we will start with very specific information on the specific facial characteristics and the planetary influences, and this will be very interesting. So we're starting on the principle of the polarity. It is the principle of harmony. Everything is polarity, activity, passivity, plus, minus, south, north. So every house in astrology has to do with polarity. You have the first house, which means something, and then you have the seventh house, which would mean the opposite. So this is about the principle of polarity. Then you have the principle of the rationality, which is about which is creating actually the first polarity structure, which is created by the first, which is including the first and the seventh house of astrology. This is about the rational world and also the brain. So everything which is existing is rational, and everything which is rational is existing. So we look at the first house in astrology, which is about the ego. It is about us. It is the dominating person in the horoscope. And also we look at the seventh house, which is related to which is the sphere of the marriage, sphere of connections, relationships, and so. Then we look, of course, at the very important principle of the cause and effect, and this is the karma, of course. This is including the second and the eighth houses in astrology. So everything in the world has rational, wise reason, and there is always cause. There is and this has to do also with the karmic circle of our incarnations. And you have also some analogy with the finances of the second house, because we're talking about the involvement of the second and the eighth houses of astrology. Eighth house is related to inheritance and also death. Then we have the principle of vibrations, according to which every single vibration, everything is vibration, everything energy, everything is hierarchy, which is actually behind the creation of the polarity. And here we have the involvement of third and ninth houses, which is about, of course, spirituality, philosophies, religion. So then we have the principles, the rhythm, which is about the polarity structure of the fourth and the 10th houses. Everything is rhythmic and periodical, and it is about the different how to explain to you, it is about the creation of the different also sections of the society, which is about different he explains societies and also different hierarchies, maybe I will say. Then we have the polarical structures of the uh, family roots of the ancestors, if you want. It is about which houses. It is about the 5th and 11th houses, the houses of children, the houses of friendships, and the ideal societies. And then you have the last one, the last principle of the correspondence. The principle of correspondence, it is involving the 6th polaric structure and the 12th house, 6th and 12th houses axis, which is what above, so below. This is how it is described by the Hermetic knowledge. So this is about the connection between the causal and the physical world, because everything is correlating, everything is resonating with each other. So this is what, these are the Hermetic principles that will be using as a basis of our phrenology information lectures, and also the information about the physical and the astral bodies, and double is also very important. You will see how this will make sense a little bit later. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the first from the series of lectures which I am starting now on phrenology, which is just a beautiful addition to astrology. And this is just the introduction, lecture number 1. Like I said, I will put them in the playlist and I will call them phrenology, and I will try once a week to place a new video only on phrenology. I hope you find this interesting. If you have specific questions, if there is something that you didn't understand or I didn't explain maybe well enough, please don't hesitate to write. I'm reading all the comments. Thank you very much. Bye bye.